You know why people walk past you like you're invisible? It's not your looks, it's not your money, and it sure as hell isn't because you forgot to use the right cologne. It's because you radiate the romantic energy of a wet paper bag. I watched this happen to a guy last weekend. Well-dressed, decent-looking, clearly takes care of himself. He approaches a group of people at a coffee shop, does everything the dating coaches tell you. Good posture, confident smile, solid opener. Within 3 minutes, they're checking their phones. Within 5, they've moved to another table. He spent the rest of the afternoon wondering what went wrong, scrolling through dating apps like they hold some magic formula he's missing. Here's what really happened. The moment he opened his mouth, they felt it. That hollow desperation, that romantic insecurity disguised as confidence, that need for validation wrapped up in small talk. People can sense masculine weakness from across a crowded room, and it repels them faster than bad breath. He wasn't offering them an experience. He was asking them to fill a void. And emotionally mature individuals don't want to be your therapist. So here's my question for you. When was the last time someone looked at you with genuine romantic interest? Not polite conversation, not friendly chit-chat. I'm talking about that look that says they're genuinely intrigued by your presence, wondering what it would be like to know you better, feeling pulled toward your energy without quite knowing why. If you're drawing a blank, you're not alone. Most men walk through life romantically invisible. They mistake being nice for being attractive. They think personal magnetism comes from technique, from clever lines, from strategies you can learn on YouTube. They're completely wrong. Romantic magnetism isn't something you do, it's something you are. And most men aren't it. The uncomfortable reality? You've been romantically neutered by a culture that taught you to apologize for your desires. You've learned to hide your masculine nature behind politeness, behind being a good guy, behind treating people like they might shatter if you show genuine interest. You think if you suppress your natural instincts, if you become safe and non-threatening, others will reward you with affection. Instead, they treat you like a brother, or worse, like you don't exist. Romantic magnetism comes from masculine confidence. And masculine confidence comes from one thing: complete ownership of your desires without shame or apology. It's the ability to look at an attractive person and appreciate their beauty without immediately drowning that thought in guilt or anxiety about rejection. It's the capacity to occupy your masculine energy fully, unapologetically, powerfully. But here's the catch. You can't fake it. People have evolved over thousands of years to detect authentic masculine confidence. They can sense a truly confident man from across a room the same way you can smell coffee brewing. It's primal, it's unconscious, and it's completely beyond your control to manufacture. We're going to change that, not through pickup lines or manipulation tactics, but through something deeper, through reclaiming the masculine energy you've been taught to suppress your entire adult life. Stay with me. What you're about to learn will either make you magnetic or it'll make you free. Probably both. Here's the raw reality most men can't stomach. Your romantic energy is either attractive or repulsive. There's no neutral. And right now, if you're wondering why people treat you like a harmless friend, it's because you're radiating romantic neediness disguised as kindness. You're broadcasting desperation on a frequency that makes their skin crawl. Personal magnetism isn't about what you say or how you look. It's about what you contain. It's about the energy you hold inside your body, the way you occupy space, the tension you can maintain without releasing it through nervous laughter or desperate conversation. Most men leak their masculine energy all over the place, like a broken faucet. They can't hold it, can't contain it, can't direct it. So it spills out as awkwardness, as trying too hard, as that uncomfortable vibe others instinctively avoid. Think about the last time you saw a truly magnetic man. He wasn't the loudest guy in the room. He wasn't performing or showing off, demanding attention. He was simply present, completely, unapologetically present in his masculine energy. Others gravitated toward him, not because of what he did, but because of what he was. He contained something they wanted to experience. He held a romantic tension that promised depth, passion, intensity. Now think about yourself. When you're around someone attractive, where does your energy go? Does it scatter into nervous jokes? Does it dissolve into people-pleasing behavior? Do you start talking faster, trying harder, becoming more animated? That's your masculine energy leaking out through the cracks in your confidence, and people feel it immediately. The ancient Stoics understood this principle better than modern men ever will. Marcus Aurelius wrote extensively about self-mastery, the ability to control your internal state regardless of external circumstances. Personal magnetism is the ultimate expression of internal mastery. It's the ability to feel intense attraction while maintaining complete emotional control. It's wanting someone without needing them. It's being romantically interested without being romantically desperate. Carl Jung spent decades studying what he called the anima and animus, the masculine and feminine energies that exist within everyone. Jung understood that magnetically attractive individuals have integrated both aspects of their psyche. They're comfortable with their masculine drive, their romantic desires, their capacity for both tenderness and strength, but they're also in touch with their intuitive side, their emotional intelligence, their ability to create connection without words. Most men today are walking around with a fractured masculine identity. They've been taught that masculine energy is toxic, that showing interest is inappropriate, that wanting someone romantically makes them predatory. So they've buried their masculine energy so deep that others can't even sense it exists. They've become romantically invisible, safe perhaps, but completely uninteresting. Here's what Nietzsche understood about personal magnetism that modern men have forgotten. He wrote about the will to power, not power over others, but power over yourself. Romantic magnetism is the will to power expressed through masculine energy. It's the refusal to apologize for your desires, the refusal to diminish your masculinity to make others comfortable, the refusal to hide your romantic nature behind a mask of false friendship. But here's where most men get this completely wrong. They think romantic magnetism means being aggressive, pushy, or overtly forward in their behavior. They mistake dominance for masculinity, aggression for confidence. Authentic romantic magnetism is quiet. It's controlled. It's contained. It's the difference between a controlled fire and a wildfire. Both contain heat, but one is useful and directed, while the other is destructive and chaotic. Now let me break down 3 uncomfortable realities about romantic magnetism that will either wake you up or make you close this video. First reality: your shame around attraction is killing your magnetism. Every time you feel guilty about finding someone attractive, every time you apologize for your desires, every time you hide your masculine energy behind fake friendship, you're neutering yourself romantically. People don't want to date men who are ashamed of attraction. They want men who own their desires completely, who are comfortable in their masculine skin, who can look at them with genuine appreciation without turning into stuttering teenagers. This shame usually starts early. Maybe you were raised in an environment where attraction was treated as inappropriate. Maybe you had overbearing authority figures who made you feel guilty for normal masculine impulses. Maybe you were shamed for showing romantic interest during your formative years. Whatever the source, that shame is now radiating from your body like heat from a fever. Others sense it immediately, and it repels them at a biological level. The impact is devastating. You approach interactions with people from a place of apology rather than appreciation. You hide your romantic interest behind layers of niceness and friendship. You become romantically dishonest, pretending you just want to be friends when what you really want is a deeper connection. This dishonesty creates a weird, uncomfortable energy that others can't quite identify, but definitely want to avoid. Think about how this shows up in your daily life. You see an attractive person at the grocery store, and instead of making natural eye contact and perhaps offering a genuine compliment, you look away immediately. You convince yourself you're being respectful, but really, you're being cowardly. You're letting shame override your natural masculine instinct to appreciate beauty and express interest. Second reality. You're trying to be romantically attractive instead of being romantically attractive. There's a massive difference. Trying to be attractive means you're performing attraction rather than embodying it. You're doing things you think will make you attractive rather than becoming someone who naturally attracts. You're focused on external behaviors rather than internal transformation. This shows up as overcompensation. You might hit the gym obsessively, not for your own health and strength, but to create a body you think people will want. You might dress in ways that feel unnatural to you because you read somewhere that it's attractive. You might adopt personality traits that aren't authentic to who you are because you think they're romantically appealing. The problem is that people can sense inauthenticity from miles away. They can feel when you're performing rather than being, and performance is the opposite of magnetism. Magnetism comes from being so comfortable with yourself, so authentic in your expression, so integrated in your identity, that others feel drawn to your genuineness. When you're trying to be romantically attractive, you're always monitoring their reaction, always adjusting your behavior based on their responses, always seeking validation that your performance is working. This creates a needy, desperate energy that pushes people away rather than drawing them in. I've seen this countless times. A guy will completely change his personality around people he finds attractive. He'll become more animated, more agreeable, more entertaining. He thinks he's being charming, but what he's actually doing is communicating that his authentic self isn't good enough. Others pick up on this immediately, and it makes them uncomfortable because they can sense the manipulation, even if it's unconscious. Third reality. You don't understand the difference between romantic interest and romantic neediness. Romantic interest is attractive. Romantic neediness is repulsive. Romantic interest says, I find you attractive and I'm confident enough to show it. Romantic neediness says, I need you to validate my worth as a man through your attention and approval. Romantic interest can walk away. It can handle rejection gracefully. It doesn't need any particular outcome from any particular person because it's coming from a place of abundance rather than scarcity. Romantic neediness can't walk away. It becomes persistent, manipulative, desperate, because it needs a specific outcome from a specific person. Romantic interest is playful. It can flirt, tease, create tension without becoming heavy or serious. It's confident enough to be rejected and secure enough to try again with someone else. Romantic neediness is serious, heavy, intense in all the wrong ways. It puts too much weight on every interaction, too much meaning in every conversation. The behavioral difference is stark. A man with romantic interest might say something like, "You seem interesting, and I'd love to get to know you better over coffee." A man with romantic neediness says the exact same words, but they carry completely different energy. The first man is making an offer. The second man is making a plea. People can feel the difference in their bones, and they respond accordingly. Most men oscillate between hiding their attraction completely and expressing it needily. They go from being the harmless nice guy to being the desperate pursuer. Neither works because neither comes from a place of integrated masculine confidence. Romantic magnetism requires you to be interested without being needy, to be confident without being arrogant, to be masculine without being aggressive. The path forward isn't about learning new techniques or strategies. It's about fundamental internal work on your relationship with your own masculine energy, your own romantic desires, your own sense of worth as a man. It's about becoming someone who doesn't need validation from others because he's already validated himself through his own standards and achievements. Here's what happens if you don't fix this now. You spend the next decade wondering why you can't create the romantic connection you crave. You date people who see you as a friend, a provider, a safe option, but never as a man they're genuinely excited to be with. You end up in relationships where the passion is missing, where your partner is with you because you're stable and reliable, not because they feel magnetically drawn to your masculine presence. I've watched this play out with countless men. They meet someone, they get along well, they have things in common, they build a relationship based on compatibility and shared interests. But the magnetic pull was never there. Not really. The other person settled for him because he was a good choice on paper. But they never felt that primal attraction to his energy. They never looked at him and felt their heart race before their mind could even process what was happening. Those relationships are doomed from the start, though it might take years for the consequences to surface. The other person might gradually lose interest in romance altogether, claiming they're just not that type of person. They might become increasingly resentful of the passionate connection they're missing. They might stay faithful, but become emotionally distant. Either way, you both suffer. They suffer because they're not experiencing the full depth of romantic connection available to them. You suffer because you can sense their lack of genuine desire, and it eats away at your masculine confidence. In your career, This lack of personal magnetism shows up as a general inability to command respect and attention. People aren't drawn to your energy. They don't seek your opinions or value your perspectives. You might be competent, even highly skilled, but you don't command the kind of presence that comes naturally to men with strong masculine energy. You're overlooked for promotions, passed over for leadership positions, treated as a reliable worker rather than someone with genuine influence and authority. Socially, you become the guy others like having around, but never think about when you're not there. You're pleasant company, a good listener, someone who makes others feel comfortable. But you're not memorable. You don't leave a lasting impression. People enjoy talking to you at social events, but they never find themselves thinking about you later, wondering what you're doing, hoping to see you again. The psychological toll is devastating. You start to question your fundamental attractiveness as a man. You wonder if there's something inherently wrong with you, some flaw that makes you undesirable. You might throw yourself into self-improvement, hitting the gym harder, reading more books, advancing your career, hoping that external achievements will somehow fix what feels like an internal deficit. But the problem isn't what you're lacking externally. It's what you're suppressing internally. You develop a relationship with romance and attraction that's based on scarcity rather than abundance. Every romantic opportunity feels precious because they're so rare. This makes you even more needy, more desperate, which further reduces your magnetism. It's a vicious cycle that gets harder to break the longer it continues. Here's how you break it. First step, own your masculine energy without apology. This doesn't mean being crude or inappropriate. It means being honest about your nature as a masculine being. When you find someone attractive, acknowledge it to yourself rather than trying to suppress or ignore it. When you feel romantic interest, don't immediately smother it with guilt or shame. Let it exist. Let it inform your energy without letting it control your behavior. Start by changing your internal dialogue. Instead of thinking, "I shouldn't be looking at them that way," think, "They're beautiful, and I appreciate beauty." Instead of, "I shouldn't want them romantically," think, "Romantic desire is natural and healthy." Instead of, "I should just be friends with them," think, "I'm romantically interested, and that's perfectly normal." This isn't about becoming inappropriate or making people uncomfortable. It's about being honest with yourself about who you are and what you want. Romantic honesty creates romantic confidence. Romantic confidence creates romantic magnetism. You can be completely appropriate in your behavior while being completely honest about your desires. In fact, that combination, internal honesty with external restraint, is exactly what creates the tension that others find magnetic. Practice this in low-stakes situations first. When you're walking down the street and you see an attractive person, instead of immediately looking away or pretending you didn't notice, allow yourself to appreciate their beauty for a moment. Don't stare, don't make them uncomfortable, but don't deny your natural response either. Let yourself feel what you feel without judgment. Second step, develop romantic self-sufficiency. This means your romantic confidence and masculine energy don't depend on external validation from others. You're not seeking their approval to feel good about yourself as a romantic being. You know you're attractive because you've done the internal work to become attractive, not because someone else has confirmed it for you. Romantic self-sufficiency starts with your relationship with your own masculine energy and desires. Are you comfortable with your own masculinity? Do you appreciate your own masculine qualities? Do you understand your own romantic nature and preferences? Many men are strangers to their own masculine energy because they've spent so much time suppressing it. Start with basic self-acceptance. Spend time understanding what genuinely attracts you. Not what you think should attract you, not what you've been told is appropriate, but what actually creates romantic energy in your system. The more you understand your own romantic nature, the more confidently you can express it. Develop a healthy relationship with romantic energy that doesn't require immediate validation or external confirmation. Learn to feel romantic interest without being controlled by it. This is crucial. Many men either suppress romantic energy completely or are controlled by it completely. Romantic magnetism requires you to feel it fully while maintaining complete choice about how you express it. Third step, create romantic tension through containment, not expression. This is counterintuitive for most men. They think romantic magnetism means expressing romantic interest overtly. Actually, it means containing romantic energy in ways that create magnetic fields around you. Think of romantic energy like electricity. Uncontained, it just dissipates uselessly into the environment. Properly contained and directed, it can power entire systems. Your romantic energy, when properly contained, creates an invisible field of tension around you that others can feel, even when they can't explain what they're feeling. This containment shows up in how you hold your body, how you maintain eye contact, how you speak, how you move through space. It's a quality of presence that suggests depth, intensity, passion held in check by choice rather than repression. Others can sense when a man has access to powerful romantic energy, but chooses how to express it rather than being controlled by it. Practice this by learning to maintain eye contact without immediately looking away when you feel attraction. Not staring, which is aggressive and uncomfortable, but maintaining natural eye contact without the nervous breaking away that most men do when they feel attracted to someone. Let your eyes show your appreciation without apology, but also without demanding anything in return. Fourth step, develop the ability to be romantically interested without being romantically available. This might be the most important skill for romantic magnetism. You can find someone attractive, feel romantic interest for them, even express that interest appropriately, while maintaining your own standards and boundaries about who you actually choose to pursue. Romantic magnetism isn't about wanting everyone or being available to everyone. It's about having such a strong sense of your own value and such clear standards about what you want that your romantic interest becomes a gift rather than something you give away freely. When someone senses that you're romantically selective, that your attraction to them represents genuine choice rather than desperation, it makes your attention much more valuable. This means developing genuine standards based on more than just physical attraction. What kind of character do you want in a partner? What kind of energy? What kind of values? When you have clear answers to these questions, and you're willing to walk away from romantic opportunities that don't meet your standards, you develop a quality of romantic confidence that's extremely attractive. Now here's the paradox that most men never understand. The less you need any particular person's romantic approval, the more romantically attractive you become to all people. The more romantically self-sufficient you are, the more others want to experience your romantic energy. The more selective you are about who you pursue romantically, the more valuable your romantic attention becomes. This happens because romantic magnetism is fundamentally about having something valuable to offer, rather than needing something from someone else. When people sense that you have rich masculine energy, but aren't desperate to share it with just anyone, they become curious about what it would be like to be chosen by you. You've probably noticed this with other men who have this quality. They're not the guys hitting on everyone at the bar. They're not constantly seeking romantic validation or approval. They're comfortable with their masculinity, confident in their attractiveness, and selective about who they pursue. This combination makes them magnetically attractive because they offer the possibility of both passion and choice. Have you ever wondered why some men seem to attract people without trying, while others try constantly and attract no one? It's this principle in action. The men who attract without trying have developed romantic self-sufficiency. They're not trying to get something from others. They're simply being who they are and letting people decide if they want to experience that energy. Look, here's where we stand. You can keep pretending that romantic magnetism is some mysterious quality that some men just happen to have. Or you can accept that it's a skill set you can develop through internal work and practice. You can keep approaching people from a place of neediness and wondering why they're not romantically interested. Or you can do the work to become genuinely magnetically confident. The choice is simple, but it's not easy. Simple because the path is clear. Own your masculine energy. Develop romantic self-sufficiency. Learn to contain energy. Become selective in your pursuits. Not easy, because it requires you to confront years of shame, neediness, and false beliefs about what makes men attractive. Most men will choose to stay where they are. It's easier to complain about dating apps and modern people than it is to do the internal work required to become genuinely magnetic. It's more comfortable to blame external circumstances than to take responsibility for your own romantic energy and presence. But if you're still here, if you've listened this far, you're not most men. You're willing to hear uncomfortable information if it leads to genuine change. You're tired of being romantically invisible, tired of relationships without passion, tired of wondering what's wrong with you. The work starts now, not tomorrow, not next week, not when you feel ready. Right now, today, with your very next interaction. Start owning your masculinity without apology. Start appreciating attractive people without shame. Start developing the internal confidence that creates external magnetism. Remember, romantic magnetism isn't about getting people to like you. It's about becoming the kind of man who naturally attracts romantic interest because of who you are, not what you do. It's about developing such strong internal presence that others feel drawn to your energy without understanding why. This isn't a quick fix or a pickup technique. This is fundamental work on your masculine identity, your relationship with attraction, your capacity for self-possession under pressure. Done correctly, it changes not just how people respond to you, but how everyone responds to you. Because romantic confidence is just one expression of deeper personal confidence. So here's my question for you. Are you ready to stop being romantically invisible? Or are you going to keep wondering why nobody sees you as the magnetic man you actually could be? Drop a comment and let me know. What's one area where you know your romantic confidence needs work? Be honest. This community is here to help men who are serious about growth. If this resonated with you, subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell. We dive deeper into masculine development topics that other creators won't touch. And watch the video that's coming up next. It builds directly on what we just covered. Until then, start doing the work. Your future self is counting on it.